Welcome to today's Explainer. We're diving into what is honestly one of the most wild corporate thrillers of our time. We're talking about a company that started out building tech for video gamers and somehow ended up literally conquering the global economy. This isn't just your standard business case study. It's a massive plot twist that's actively reshaping the world we live in right now.
To really wrap our heads around this, just imagine waking up tomorrow and every single piece of AI you use is just gone. ChatGPT, down. Self-driving cars, parked. Those huge medical breakthroughs and robotics, completely stalled. And imagine this didn't happen because of a cyber attack or the internet going down. Imagine it all halted just because one single company vanished overnight.
Now, if I asked you to name the company holding all this together, your brain probably jumps straight to the usual suspects, right? Maybe Apple? Nope. Microsoft? Wrong again. What about Google, the organizers of the internet? Absolutely not. The company holding the keys to the modern AI kingdom isn't any of the megatitans we usually assume are running the show.
It's NVIDIA. Yep, a company that literally started out making graphics cards so people could play video games with better visuals. Today, they are the undisputed engine behind the entire global AI revolution. The world's biggest tech companies are frantically racing to buy their chips, governments are dropping billions to get their hands on this tech, and NVIDIA's value has shot into the trillions. So, how on earth did that happen?
Section 1. The Gaming Foundation. To get this, we've got to go back to 1993. CEO Jensen Huang and two fellow engineers founded NVIDIA with this super bold vision, that computers would eventually need massive graphics processing power for complex problems. But remember, in '93, the internet was basically a baby. AI? That was just sci-fi stuff. Investors literally couldn't care less about graphics chips. But Huang and his team, they were stubborn. Through the late '90s and early 2000s, they just kept grinding, focusing on gaming GPUs, graphics processing units, and totally transformed the video game industry. To the outside world, they were just a highly successful kind of niche gaming business. But under the radar, they were unknowingly building the absolute foundation for the AI age.
Section 2. The Unexpected AI Revolution. You know, history is funny. Years after dominating the gaming world, researchers started noticing something crazy. They realized that the exact same GPUs designed to rapidly spit out millions of tiny gaming pixels were also unbelievably good at performing millions of complex mathematical calculations all at once. And guess what? Those rapid-fire, simultaneous calculations were exactly what artificial intelligence needed to actually work. Just like that, NVIDIA wasn't just selling gaming hardware anymore. They were selling the brain of modern AI. Every massive breakthrough you see today, from generating crazy images to running massive large language models, it all demands immense computing power. And NVIDIA just happened to already have the absolute best tools for the job.
Section 3. The AI Gold Rush.
When the rest of the tech world finally caught on, man, things went into overdrive. When ChatGPT dropped and completely flipped our expectations of technology, the demand for AI infrastructure just skyrocketed. OpenAI desperately needed computing power to train their models. Microsoft started frantically building out AI data centers. Google floored the gas pedal on their own AI. Meta started pouring cash into infrastructure, and Amazon had to rapidly expand their cloud just to keep up. And the one thing all these fiercely competitive titans had in common, they were totally reliant on NVIDIA's advanced chips. The demand was so frantic that these massive tech giants were waiting months for shipments. NVIDIA wasn't just selling hardware, they were literally selling the fuel for the revolution.
Section 4. The Secret Weapon, CUDA.
Now, getting to the top is one thing, but staying there? That requires a serious moat. And this is where the business strategy gets absolutely fascinating. That moat is called CUDA. See, NVIDIA doesn't just stamp out physical chips. They realized way early on that hardware is really only half the battle. So they built a whole software ecosystem around it. CUDA is their proprietary software platform that lets developers optimize their AI apps specifically for NVIDIA hardware. It's a huge deal because when companies go to NVIDIA, they're not just grabbing a chip off a shelf. They are basically forced to invest in this complete, highly integrated platform.
I like to call this the lock-in loop, and it is honestly brilliant. Step 1, developers build their AI systems heavily around CUDA, mostly because it's just the best tool out there. Step 2, as they build, their apps become completely intertwined and hyper-optimized for NVIDIA-specific hardware. And then step 3, the chap closes. Once you've built a multi-million-dollar infrastructure on this specific software, packing up and switching to another hardware supplier, it becomes incredibly expensive, difficult, and time-consuming. This lock-in loop keeps customers anchored to NVIDIA for the long haul.
Section 5.
trillion-dollar numbers.
When you combine essential hardware with deeply integrated software, when you essentially become the only toll booth on the highway to the future, the financial reality gets staggering. Thanks to this insane demand and that strategic moat, NVIDIA's revenue and profits just went ballistic. Investors woke up and realized, okay, this isn't just a semiconductor company anymore, they are the world's most critical AI infrastructure provider. Their market value smashed right into the trillions of dollars, putting them right at the very top with the most valuable companies on the planet.
Section 6. The race for the future. But if you think they're just going to sit comfortably at the top of the mountain forever, think again. The tech war is far, far from over. You've got Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Meta, OpenAI, Tesla. They are all dumping billions into their own artificial intelligence plays. You even have global governments aggressively funding their own infrastructure so they don't get left behind. And maybe more importantly, traditional chip rivals like AMD and Intel are mobilizing hard to break NVIDIA's monopoly. It is a fierce battlefield. Whether NVIDIA stays on top depends entirely on how fast they can keep innovating to outrun everybody else.
Ultimately, the NVIDIA story is just the perfect proof that the biggest opportunities often begin where almost nobody is looking. I mean, think about it. A company built to make video games look a little prettier ended up holding the keys to the entire global AI revolution. They quietly laid the foundation while the rest of the world was looking the other way.
Which leaves us with one really profound question to chew on. At this point, it's not a matter of if AI will change the future. We know it will. The real question is, who will control the technology that actually powers it? Because as we've seen today, whoever controls that underlying tech might just control the entire next era of human history. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I hope you're walking away with a totally new perspective on the invisible engines running our modern world.